Greetings. I haven't made any videos in a while because I've been working, doing a day job and a night job and stuff. So I've been busy, but now I'm making a video again. Woohoo! So this piece of news comes from the most popular news source on the internet, Mr. Metagro's Twitter, and it says that HuniePop, this match 3 game with lewd elements, might be forced to be removed from Steam because of its sexual content. Like the developer got this notice. I've received an email from Valve stating that HuniePop violates the rules and guidelines for pornographic content on Steam and will be removed from the store unless the game is updated to remove said content. And the same thing is apparently happening to a couple of other games as well. There's Mutiny from Ubisoft. I don't really know what that is, but it's, well, apparently some visual novel with some lewd elements. But maybe I'm not so sad about that because of this comment. The developer says, "We are not sleazebags making horrific pornography. We're a strongly queer visual novel studio that makes sexy games. That is not wrong. That is not pornographic, blah, blah, blah." So yeah, they're so openly queer, so fuck them, I don't care. And then there is this game, Tropical Liquor. They've also gotten some email from Steam that the game must be censored by the end of this month or the game will be removed from Steam. And this is, of course, bullshit, mainly for the reason that at least HuniePop, it has been on Steam for over 3 years now, and they never had any problem with it. And also, the version on Steam already is censored, and you can download a decensored mod or update from elsewhere on the internet. Why suddenly, after 3 years, they notice oh, this game violates our guidelines, especially since HuniePop is a fairly popular game, so surely Steam would have noticed if there was something wrong with it. So naturally there has to be some other reasons behind this than, they suddenly noticing it. By the way, this violates our guidelines. And to point out that if they remove it from Steam, it just means that you cannot buy it, but if you already own it on your Steam account, then you can still play it. It has happened before, at least to this game, Cherry McPartlin, Rebel with a Cause. It's a point-and-click adventure game with puzzles and stuff, but I think that wasn't removed because of Steam, but because of some differences or disputes between the publisher and the developer. And the game sucks, so maybe it's good that you cannot play it. Maybe I think I read somewhere that they're trying to make a update of it and maybe get a new publisher or whatever to get it back on Steam, but it's a horrible game, so please stay away from it. Anyway, now to speculate on why this new censorship thing from Steam is happening. On this HuniePop developer's Twitter, somebody called Pseudolukian commented, "This is happening because PayPal was threatening to cut ties with Steam since it sold this sort of content. I guess this is why they decided to make a move after 3 years." So is it because of PayPal? Of course, people have been speculating it's because of, the social justice warriors. They have gotten, their foothold on Steam, and now they're doing this. That's one possibility, and this is another, that it's not really about, somebody getting their knickers in a twist, but it's because of some legal crap. But still, why now? Did PayPal recently update their policies or whatever? But let's take a look of some of these PayPal policy transactions that involve sexually oriented goods and services. So they permit transactions for certain sexually oriented physical goods that are physically delivered to the customer. Videos, DVDs, and magazines are examples of physical goods. Probably also includes dildos and stuff. But PayPal does not permit account holders to buy or sell sexually oriented digital goods or content delivered through a digital medium, downloadable pictures or videos and website subscriptions are examples of digital goods. So I don't know, maybe there is some reasonable legal explanation for this, but like just as a layman, not a lawyer, not an internet lawyer, it seems stupid. Like you can sell porn videos and DVDs, but you cannot sell porn, like downloadable porn videos, so why? And then there's this sexually oriented goods or services that involve or appear to involve minors. That's one bit that has spawned speculation that these games that are being censored, they have like an anime art style to them, even though not all of them are even Japanese or Asian. That's like a common trope. I remember it back from the 90s that they say that all anime girls are children and you're a pedophile if you like anime girls or something, and well, that's just ridiculous. Like, of course there are actual like pedophile anime or whatever, but not all anime. Some people are too dumb to recognize differences in art styles. But yet this could be the reason behind Steam's decision to try to censor these games, and if that's the case, I would just tell Steam, fuck PayPal. Who gives a fuck about PayPal? Like, yeah, okay, they would lose some money probably, however, but yeah, PayPal sucks anyway, so fuck them, fuck the donkey they rode in on or whatever. It's just like the weirdness and hypocrisy of this whole thing is that, these few games, HuniePop, Tropical, Liquor and whatever, Mutiny, these games, they are now getting censored. I wonder if all of these, like Steam is full of all these visual novel hentai games. Like, yeah, just look at all these games and there's like 11 pages of it, and that's of course not all sort of sexual games on Steam, and there's of course games like Grand Theft Auto and the Witcher series. They have all sorts of sexual content, and like one game that people brought up was House Party, that is basically just a porn game, like a 3D porn game. And some people argue that the reason it's not getting censored is because it's like a realistic Western art style and not anime. I don't know if that's the case. Yeah, this is absolute bullshit that HuniePop is getting censored after 3 years. For 3 years they were happy to get money from the developer, from people buying the game on Steam, and it was the censored version to begin with, and now suddenly they have a problem. So I just wonder what changed. And no, I don't think they should be able to do that. Like there's should be some period of time after which if they don't notice some violation in terms in the game, and as long as it's not like clear like copyright violation or something, they shouldn't be able to take it down. Because 3 years of a popular game that I'm pretty sure some people on Valve themselves, they have played it and they know what it's all about. So they shouldn't be able to take it down, and people should get pissed off naturally. And it's not just about porn and having access to your porn and your degenerate crap. It's more about consistency, and Steam or Valve should have respect towards users and developers. They shouldn't just arbitrarily get to decide what is allowed and what is not. Like, there should be some clear guidelines, because I remember years ago Steam didn't have any of these, at least very few of these visual novel hentai games, and I'd be fine with that. I'd be fine if Steam had, stuck to their guns and said that we don't allow any kind of explicitly pornographic material, or like even like explicitly sexually suggestive material. Like, fine, I can agree with their decision, but now that they have allowed it for many years and it's inundated with this stuff, why are they suddenly saying like it's not okay? And especially since I don't expect them to ask Witcher 3 to like censor it or remove it or anything like that. It just sounds fucking arbitrary to me. One possibility I thought of is that maybe, you know, Steam doesn't want to allow games that have like an explicitly sexual theme, or like the goal of the game is as explicitly sexual as, you know, many of these visual novel games probably are. I hate visual novel games. I just think they're fucking boring. Like I like anime stuff. I don't have a problem with that. I don't have a problem with looking at cute anime girls or whatever. I just hate that because the games are so fucking boring. They're not really games. But anyway, like, I can understand, like, if Steam doesn't want games that, you know, the main purpose in many of these games is just to, you know, seduce girls and whatever. But like games like Witcher, I think the main purpose is not to seduce women. It's to play an RPG with combat and exploration and story, and like seducing women is just one of the elements in that game. Or like, you know, even GTA, it's about, you know, committing crimes and all this morally respectable stuff, and killing people, and also they have some sexual stuff in it. Like, it still is just one element of the game. So, you know, on that grounds, I can understand if they have that sort of priorities now, but still it's very arbitrary, as I said. 3 years later, like I'd be hard pressed to find any good rationalization for threatening to remove a game 3 years after for something, and once again, HuniePop is already censored. So like, what is it, like every game that somebody might find sexually arousing is gonna get removed, or is it just every game with anime kind of graphics that might be sexually arousing is removed, or what? Like, at least I'd like Steam to make some public statement what their actual motivation for this whole thing is. And yeah, not to forget the bit that, you know, nowadays Steam is full of all sorts of shitty shovelware anyways. Back in the old days, it was really difficult for developers to get on Steam, and like if they got on Steam, it meant that, you know, they had sort of made it in the industry. But nowadays, no, they just bring shit, and then they, like, even though I think these visual novel games are shit, at least, yeah, for the most part, like, you know, HuniePop is not a visual novel, like, not merely, it has an actual gameplay element to it. But anyways, like, at least I think these games are fairly popular among some certain kind of audience, which is at least, like, you know, living in a capitalist society, it should be expected that, okay, these games sell, people want to buy them, and, you know, Steam should sell them since they decided to sell them. Why take back that? Like, you know, instead of like the shovelware that nobody really buys, like, it's probably some children with very little money, and then they see a game that looks nice on like $2, and then they buy it and it sucks. I don't know, because they don't have money to buy any, you know, proper games, and also they don't have the patience like myself to wait like a year or two for a proper sale. And also the Case of Hatred, you know, this evil serial killer mass murderer game that originally was supposed to get banned from Steam because it was so vile and violent and all that stuff. But then the public caused an uproar, and now they have it on Steam. At least last time I checked, they had it on Steam. So I do expect something like this to happen here as well, with these, you know, lewd games getting censored. Maybe Steam will just recant their, you know, take back these threats. But of course, it very much depends on what their actual motivation is for this whole affair. Like, if it's some, like, you know, important legal affair, then maybe it's not simply some, you know, arbitrary decision, but it looks fucking arbitrary to me. Whatever the case is, I lost a great deal of respect for Valve and Steam, because like doing bullshit like this, like yeah, Steam video games is not the most important thing in the whole world, but still, like, a lot of people, myself included, play games, and most of them I play on Steam. And you don't wanna, like, you play games because you wanna escape from the bullshit of real life, and then they have to cause trouble with these sorts of irrational censorship, arbitrary irrational censorship threats and stuff. And like, even if they take it back and they apologize, it's still like, well, you should have known better. Like, you're not like a noob. Like, it's an old company, it's been around for a long time, and they should know that this isn't acceptable. Like, you cannot just screw with your consumer base like this. Well, with some of them you can. Like, some people are just so happy that they can buy crappy games and play them, and they don't have any self-respect. But I hope a lot of people, like, yeah, I'm talking about lewd games, but still having self-respect, whatever. And I'm not saying you should start boycotting Steam, but I am saying that you should be aware, like, this might be a hint of things to come, like whatever, it might be some completely different kind of issue where Steam starts to screw over their customers. So yeah, it behooves yourself to start looking at other avenues if Steam is the main platform where you get your games. It is for me, and I have a lot of games on Steam, so yeah, I will continue playing them. But yeah, this really wakes me up that yeah, it's not good to have all of your eggs in one basket, especially since Steam is basically DRM. Like, you cannot play the game unless you have Steam on your computer and stuff. And also Gabe Newell, he's the god of Valve. He's donated money to Democrats. So I think I read this on Wikipedia whenever it was a year or two ago, and yeah, here it wasn't a lot of money, but I don't know who Dodd is, but some Democrat. And also, like, this on simple English Wikipedia, it says that Gabe Newell is a financial supporter of the Democratic Party. Like, it doesn't elaborate like how much he donates money to them and all that stuff. And I think it was on the regular Wikipedia page of Gabe Newell as well, but now it's not there. So I'm not saying that if he was a Republican supporter it would be much better, but still, sending money to somebody I know that is gonna send part of that money to the Democratic Party in the United States of America, it does not make me very happy. It just rubs me the wrong way. Like, all of these different possibilities for Steam censorous actions, like, I think that this thing that it's something to do with PayPal or some other kind of legal crap might be behind it, or that it's because these games are sort of anime, and anime is pedophilia allegedly, and of course it's complete bullshit. Like, whenever any, let's say, very mainstream powerful organization is doing something to quote unquote combat pedophilia, it's gonna be bullshit. Like, yeah, pedophiles should hang, but like, they don't do anything about the actual pedophiles. It's more like this, some art piece or entertainment piece is interpreted by somebody to be pedophilic, and then it's censored, but they don't do anything to look into fucking these pedophile rings in high positions in the world, in governments or wherever. But yeah, so maybe it is about them censoring anime. The kike fears the anime.